Welcome back to the channel, guys. We've got some good news and some bad news. We have critical turning points which are coming up for many of the cryptos, and some of the traditional markets have overcome these turning points. So it's good to see some of the strength coming back in. But over the last couple of weeks, we have obviously been looking at that low to form a temporary bounce. As I said, for many weeks, we're looking at this to potentially give us some relief, maybe over the next several days to weeks, hopefully months. I'm not sure whether this is the low yet because we don't have any confirmation, but the short term does look like it is producing a good low. So without further ado, you know what to do. Hit the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you've got the bell notification turned on. Quick thank you to our sponsor today, Accru, which we'll get to in today's video as well. You can get passive income on your crypto. But without further ado, let's crack on with the news and the charts. The Fear and Greed Index is at 28. Yesterday was 26. And you can see we've started this slow uptrend out of the extreme fear. So we're just sitting at fear now. Last week was extreme fear, and we can see we're climbing out of those bottoms. So we're looking to purchase that. We got an average price filled on Bitcoin at about $35,500, $36,000 to add to the total portfolio, which we'll update in future videos as well. So this is looking all right for the short term. We can't stay in extreme fear forever. And turning to the flow of money going in and out of crypto, Ethereum is on its 8th week down. You can see here, ETH continues to suffer from negative sentiment with outflows of 27 million, 8th consecutive week. We've got a total of 272 out. Still not the worst overall. There's still 10.7 billion in it. Bitcoin had a positive week. Solana down, Polkadot down even more, and Cardano down slightly. So this is money flowing out of these cryptocurrencies. Also looking at the traditional stock markets, the traditional markets here, we're looking at potential V-shaped recovery. It definitely looks like that at the moment. Personally, I don't know if we'll get there. Obviously, we still need to overcome a few more levels. But if we stall out at around 36,500 on the Dow, which would put us at a double top with the first lower top. So that's this price here on the 13th of January, and then also the previous top before the all-time high came in. That would look like a pretty weak signal. So we definitely want to overcome that sooner rather than later. So the critical turning point, this is for the traditional markets, it overcame the 50%. It closed above it on Monday, and then on Tuesday, my birthday, it closed above it again. So that's a good sign. We've got 35,000 was the level to beat. And we're looking at the traditional markets because hopefully we're going to get some of this strength flow into tech, which of course is cryptocurrency. The S&P is quite similar as well. It was lagging the Dow Jones. We had one close above the 50% level just yesterday on the 1st of February, but the day before it didn't close above it. So that's an important level, 4,520. So at least that is above the strong level. That's that first critical level that we look for the market to overcome rather than hit it as resistance. Speaking of that, the NASDAQ, which I've got on an hourly chart here, we were looking at the short-term time frame, just this drop into the low. This was that quick acceleration where the extreme fear came into the market, breaking that down into a 50% zone, 14,536. That was the short-term rejection just a few days ago, so end of last week. Fell into a higher low, which is a good sign. Then we got another higher low here. You can see on the chart just in here. So this is a good sign to know that buyers are stepping in at higher prices. That's why we look for these higher lows, because it tells you that prices are about to go up. And then that's what we saw over the last couple of days. We saw the market just take off and break this shorter term 50%. So the critical point here for the NASDAQ, 15,245. So if you want to round it up, 15,300 just to get above these levels here. So you can see that on the chart. This was the price before the major breakdown. So that's what we want to get above to be the critical point for tech to make a comeback. So at the moment, tech is weaker than the S&P and the Dow. We've got Bitcoin, ETH, and a ton of other altcoins I want to look through, plus add a few bits of news to it. There's a lot of positive news, but of course, we need to see that on the chart. The market's to come back from those low levels. But first, a quick word from our sponsor today, Accru. Thanks to our sponsor, Accru, you can earn some of the highest rates in the industry. 12% on stablecoins, 7% on Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's super simple to transfer crypto onto the Accru platform, where you can see interest being earned to the second. Accru also have $30 million insurance policy against hacking. So if you want to get started with Accru, you can access them via their website or their iOS or Android apps. You can choose exactly how much you want to deposit and withdraw at any time with no questions, no catches, including the interest that you have earned. When you first sign up to Accrue, you will receive 10 USDT, so you can see how the platform is working in real time, and you'll see that interest come through by the second. In the top of the video description, you'll see the referral code Jason1, which you can use when you sign up to receive an extra 25 USDT once your account is verified. Accrue also focused on customer service, so you'll speak to a human team if you reach out to them, which you can do by following the links in the top of the description. And while you're over on the website, check out the investors page, do some research over there to the guys who are investing in the project. Remember, this is not financial advice, and this should only be part of your own personal investment plan. Critical levels, again, like I said in the title, there's some big critical points which we have been waiting for days, if not weeks. We can see the downtrend here. I'm on a 4-hour chart. This is from the all-time high back in November. And we're looking at here, this is a critical point. 52,000 is a major level that we wanted to see the market break above, and we never got there. So that the point is now anchored to 52. We had a hit here. This is not part of that. So you can see that this is a different tool. And we had a hit on the 21st of January, and we are now dead on that point right now. And we're waiting for this to break above. I think this might be the time that we do get that break. We are now sitting above the 50% at 38,000. The 36 was a very difficult level. From this point, the blue line, that is my next critical level. I want to see Bitcoin break above that and come back and test it. And like we've looked at many times before, you guys have been following. Thank you very much. And to all of your comments as well. I love to see people learning and understanding how to read the charts. It makes life so much easier for you and for me. But we're looking at this, the downtrend. It doesn't matter if this starts to fall further down in price, which I think it may do. We don't know for sure. But at least it breaks the speed of the downtrend. That's the important part here. So we're above the short-term 50% level now at 38,200. So we're above that. Blue line is next. And then we start to work on the levels above, the 40,000, the 41,000, the 42. There's a lot of levels here that we need to start breaking above. Ethereum, on the other hand, is looking just that little bit weaker. You can see ETH is beneath its 50% level of the short term, but it is still above the major 50%, which was around 2,500. So that's a good thing. Now, my level I'm looking for is around 3,000 for ETH to break. The downtrend is pretty significant, which sped up in early January compared to other markets. ETH was holding up relatively well, but has since lost ground, so it's dropped. And we're just waiting to see if we can get back above the speed of the downtrend, which it really accelerated, and then get back above the 3 and the 3.3. So they're the next critical levels. But at the moment, this is playing havoc, $2,800. We've just hit on that. We're on the daily chart, so that's the next level for ETH to overcome. And then, of course, 3,000. Since the November top, I have been selling off altcoins in my portfolio, and members of Patreon and Premium, which you can find a link to in the top of the description, have been getting the updates to this. So if you want to join our membership, check out the links down below. This covers my altcoin portfolio, which is coming out this week. It's a new month. And you'll also get 16% off if you want to sign up annually. So check out the links down below for Patreon and, of course, Premium for the trading course. There is over 12 hours of content there. So in terms of cryptocurrencies, altcoins, some of them are looking quite weak. They're breaking their trend lines, they're breaking their 50% levels, and they're really struggling to hold on. The good news is, there is always some hopium here, is the lows are starting to get higher. So we had the July low, this is for Matic. We had the September lows, that was a significant low, which has not been broken, whereas for Ethereum, the September low was broken. So keep that in mind. As for Matic, it is still holding up on its September low, which is a good thing, and its major 50% level. It's the downtrend that we're concerned with here, so the speed of the move up has slowed, but maybe we'll get some consolidation sideways at these levels and start its leg higher again. So the safer point, or the area that I like as a confirmation above the $1.90 would be a really good start, because it's above two major 50% and possibly back above the trend line. Next is ADA, which I'm looking at against its Bitcoin value, because it has begun to break down and it's tested the downtrend again. So you can see that these angles are really starting to be quite significant for a lot of these altcoins. So this is what I'm following for my own trading. The downtrend, it attempted with the Sunday swap news again and has since broken down, but we are attempting to get back above this trend. Ideally, we want to get back above 3,300 Satoshis, as that's where the 50% level is. So ADA is looking a little weaker against its Bitcoin value than other altcoins. There's also DOT, which is looking weak. The double top has played out. It's satisfied my targets to the downside, and I think we've got a new corrective move to the upside now. So we were able to hold the uptrend. So you can see the lows forming, another low, and this potentially looks like another low forming now, but potentially we've just got a bit of a sideways chop here. Ideally, as always, we want to see it get above the 50% level, which is at around 57,000 Satoshis. That's for the strong half for DOT. Now, another big player that I've had on the channel is Curve, and Curve did break down past its 50%. It has also held the uptrend. You can see that it's respecting the blue line pretty well on the way up. Nice solid bounce, a little move under and then back above. It's touched and touched again and then took off to the new all-time highs. And now we've just come back down to test the blue line yet again. So the points, you can see where they anchored down here, and 50% is the critical point that we're coming up to. So around $3.60. As you can see, we broke down pretty strongly from that point, and now we're coming back to test it. So that's why I've got a lot of these cryptos at a critical point from the relief rally that we've just seen occur. And if they can get above these critical points, then I think their relief rallies will continue. Ideally, across the board, the way I like to see things is break above the resistance, come back down, test the resistance, form a higher low, and then start to work its way higher. That's a bullish sign for me, and then I can start to trade on momentum rather than hoping to buy each of these dips. Every time we set a fearful day, we just keep buying and buying and buying, which you'll see a lot of people do, but that's not the strategy that I like to implement for my own trading portfolios. The hopium out of all of this is it looks like we're seeing an intermediate low. The traditional markets look like they're putting in a solid low for the time being, but it's yet to be seen if that is going to be the major low for this correction. So while the going's good, let me know in the comments, is this a sell the rip? Are you selling the rip on the way up, or have you missed buying the dip? Was that the dip to be buying? Let me know in the comments down below. Always appreciate your support and your feedback, likes and subscribes. Patreon is down below. I'll see you guys at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.